Hi, welcome back to This Could Be a Podcast with Jen and Peter. This week we're toning it down a little.
We're taking a chill pill, everybody.
Taking a chill pill. Both Peter and I have had a little bit of a stressful week, would you agree?
A wee bit busy.
So we've decided to we're just gonna chat.
We're just gonna vibe, man. We're just gonna get some good vibes going,
Yeah. Anything that comes up, so be prepared for a bit of whiplash as we change from topic to topic.
Yeah, it's very likely that this is going to be a rather sporadic episode where we're just jumping all over the place like a bunch of bunnies.
I was going to say kangaroos.
I guess. I guess.
A bit more aggressive.
Yeah, it's a bit more aggressive. I guess bunnies more hop. Hop and jump. They don't really. I guess they can jump too. I mean, if they're like running and there's like coyote or whatever chasing them and there's like a stream and they jump.
Have you seen on Google Earth, you know how it does the little satellite view and the Google car goes around and like takes pictures and you can go on like whatever road you want?
I know what you're talking about already. About the deer that jumped into like the middle of the road or whatever or something like that, or no?
It was about rabbits.
Was it a rabbit? Wait, it's like in the air or something, right?
It's probably the size of a one-story house. Like not the bunny, the height.
The height, yeah. I was like, what kind of fucking rabbit is this? Is it like a fucking Rabbitosaurus Rex or something, man?
Have you seen Wallace and Gromit?
I have, yeah.
Isn't there a big rabbit at one point?
I can't remember. I haven't watched that shit in forever.
Me either.
I just remember...
see, I'm jumping.
What a jumping.
Once you give me freedom of speech, boy do I run. I fucking sprint.
Boy, I got free. I got real free.
Can't be tamed, bitch.
Oh my god, I spilled cider like all over my beer.
Oh, little baby can't drink from the bottle.
You know, there's something interesting I wanted to discuss just briefly, which is I think a lot of people who watch this are very curious about how a podcast actually works. I get a lot of people who ask me about it and talk to me about it, like, oh, so how do you actually run it? And here's something that's interesting when you're doing a podcast compared to just a normal conversation, which is because if you're watching the video, a silence doesn't look that weird, right? No. Because silence is a natural part of human conversation, right?
So there's a lot of body language as well,
precisely.
silent non-verbal cues.
So even if you're not saying anything, you are through your body language. However, if you're isolated to only your ears, then it sounds super weird when you have like a lengthy pause, even if it would be completely normal in like a conversation.
Or like we're both drinking, so then there is a pause.
Yeah, also that, like if you're having a drink or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I think takes a really long time. Like I say, really long time. After we've been doing this for years, but I mean, we're like almost on 24. No, we're almost on a dozen episodes now. Or this is the dozenth episode.
Yeah.
So
that's really true, because I've noticed when I've listened to it back, because you know Peter edits it and then I kind of listen to it in case like anything's been missed or anything, or and also I write the description, so it helps me come up with the most interesting topics to write in. And there's moments where you can tell that one of us has made like a little joke, and it's not like a ha ha ha, like laugh out loud moment, but you'll give each other like a ha smile, like an appreciative smile. Yeah. But in the podcast, it sounds like just the audio, it sounds like we're ignoring each other, and we're just like, so anyway.
Anyways, moving on.
Exactly.
It's just something that is really hard to grasp until you've actually done a podcast before.
Yeah.
I think even as a guest, right? I think even if you're doing your first episode, it settles in pretty quickly, which you're like, oh, how are people going to perceive this from an audience standpoint?
Yeah.
Right?
I think as well, it's hard to go from just us having a conversation where we don't need as much context information versus when we know a bunch of people are listening, we have to keep in mind there's different generations listening, there's different cultures listening, so they won't know exactly what we're talking about when, say, we reference to a video game. Like, older people or people that don't play video games aren't just going to automatically know what game we're talking about, but we do. So outside of the podcast, it's very like, you don't have to talk as much and fill each other in, but now when you're recording this, it's like you have to constantly give context to what's happening.
It's also like and like like there are the people that's very true. But like what I also wanted to say was that what you're saying is correct. It's also like we don't need context for a lot of our conversations. Because I know people that you know, etc. Like these stories like fit together a lot easier outside of a podcast. We already know each other. But to an outside audience who has no idea who we are or a limited idea of who we are, and it's something to consider as well, for sure.
That's why if you go back to the first podcast, we've debated deleting it because we just don't feel like it's
extensively.
We just don't feel like it's up to our quality that it is now.
Yeah.
And the first podcast, the first episode is the first impression, and you only get one chance to make a first impression.
That's the thing.
And so, but it's also nice to see how we've grown, because you never know, another dozen from now we might be like, oh, this episode was crap.
Could be the case. I mean, that'll be in season 2 for sure. Another dozen down the line. Like, yeah, that's the issue with that first episode, is that it really is kind of a landmark, I feel like, as well, right? Like this is the first one we ever did. But the issue is that it's a landmark for us in maybe like a spiritual sense, I guess. Like this is our first episode. But for other people, it's like, oh, this is the first episode. This is where I'm going to start watching the podcast, right? It's like that's just how it works. When you start a new podcast, maybe you'll listen to the newest one a little bit and you'll be like, oh wait, I want to go back and hear the first one, start and go through all of them and understand what's going on. So it's a problem, because then you get rerouted to that one, which is like objectively lower quality than our newer podcast, just because we've become so much more comfortable with like presenting and talking and holding a conversation again without the gaps.
For sure.
So it's just kind of where people end up, and we have talked about deleting it because we're like, what kind of image does it build of us and of this podcast, even if it's not representative?
Which way do you lean more towards, deleting it or keeping it?
I think, it's such a tough one.
I think I lean towards more deleting it.
I think I'm more towards...
I think you're more towards keeping it.
I think the thing is, like, the issue that I see with deleting it is that if we delete the first one, it's also like...
You're getting insider into the podcast.
It's a very like tough decision, because it's also like, man, like that's like the first episode, it's like, and it really is, because if we were to delete it, we would have to reshoot it.
Yeah, right? But then the order would be off, because we can't change the order on Spotify. We can't change the
order in which these things appear. At least we haven't figured out how to. Maybe we can somehow. I don't know. But the issue is that we would have to reshoot it, because from the second episode on, there's no explanation to who we are. So you kind of need that first episode as well for context as to who we are and what we're doing, why we're doing this podcast in the first place. Because it's like, even if it's poorly explained, it is explained.
It's very poorly explained.
Like, I don't really know how else we could do it,
Yeah.
Like, if we do delete it, we'd have to... We've also talked about changing the audio on it, because I know that is an option that we can do. We can replace the audio.
That's so much more work, though.
Yeah, it's... fuck,
and then it would have to be like a trailer thing, and that's just like, everyone would be like, okay, I'll skip it because it's so short. Like, it's just a trailer, so I'll just go on to the next one anyway.
Well, that's almost
so
what
we might as well
anyway,
just delete it.
But I feel like it's more professional to at least have like a trailer thing.
That's fair.
I don't know.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air. But now you get like a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as to what's going on.
It is interesting running a podcast. Like, it's really fun. But at times it's like, what on earth do we talk about?
Yeah, I think most podcasts and most content creators in general, I think, run into that. Like, what's the next idea? What's next? So I've done this, and now I need... And also, a really interesting thing with podcasting, I feel like, is there's this constant urge to kind of outdo what you've done before. It's not like when you like do schoolwork or whatever and you're like, oh, that'll do.
That'll do, donkey.
That'll do, donkey. It's like you release an episode and you're like, okay, that was really good and it did pretty good, like, analytics wise. And how do we do better? And how do we go further? And like, what's the next big thing? And like, I think, I don't know. And I think that's also how trends emerge. Because like, we also had kind of a trend with our podcast where for like 4 episodes we were doing like game show type thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like how it happens. You're like, okay, next. Okay. And then at some point, like this one, we take a break between that and then we figure out what's next.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
I actually stopped looking at the stats.
Yeah.
Because I think the reason we started this was not to become popular at all. Like, it was just like, we should start a podcast. Like, this could be a podcast. I'd be so sick. And it was literally like an out of the blue sort of thing. Like, it was kind of a joke at first, and then I mean, now here we are 12 episodes later. It's interesting,
and I think it performed a lot better than either of us had expected.
Absolutely,
definitely. Like, I was actually shocked by how well we did, especially like at first I was like, wow, this is a lot of people who are actually listening to this. I wasn't expecting like that many people, you know.
For context, I think our first episode alone has...
We're close to 250.
Right,
Which is, I believe, unique listeners. It's hard to tell, like, with like Buzzsprout, whether or not it's like just views or like listens, you know, or if it's like unique listens. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's unique. I'm leaning towards
I think it's unique.
I think it's unique, which means that it probably has close to 1,000 views, if that is the case.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Which is insane.
Which is kind of insane, assuming that is the case. But even if it was not unique, I mean, still, it was a lot more than either of us were expecting, for sure. And it was a really nice response.
And actually, like, I told one person that we had so-and-so, like, X amount of listens on an episode. And they were like, oh, that's actually not a lot. And then I'm like, no, but if you think about, like, 60 people walking into a room,
that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. That's like, some people have weddings that big. And just listening to you for an hour, like, you know, we've had better episodes, we've had worse episodes, and people prefer some that we're not entirely happy with. Like, it's really hard to figure out.
It's
like,
just how it works.
You know,
you never really know which episode is going to do better than others.
Yeah.
And I mean, the other thing to consider, which we've talked about off air as well, is that like there are very few podcasts out there that start with like more than 5 listeners per episode.
Yeah.
And like we on average get way above that. I mean, like there's like we didn't have like a pre-existing fan base or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Not to say that we have a fan base necessarily now, but like we didn't have a foundation.
Like a lot of podcasts start from YouTubers or celebrities that already have a platform, and so then they carry that into their podcast audience. But we have friends and family and like random strangers that have picked up on it.
That's the craziest thing, is that there are a decent few people who like we don't know who the hell they are. So hi, you're probably listening to this now.
Imagine if like a celebrity listened to us on the reg.
But that's what like we were talking about last week, is that like it just takes the right person to hear it as well, right?
And
like the right person to think that it's interesting, be like, oh, this is a funny podcast that I listened to, here, have a share, and that's it, you know. But it's regardless of that, I think compared to how most podcasts start, and also I think to our own expectations, I mean, this has exceeded expectations by a lot, like substantial amount. So.
And it's
really
actually,
happy.
I thought after a while we might get bored of it or might lose interest in it, but I'm still like so interested in it, and I like look forward to it every week. We record every week, and then the podcast comes out like the next couple days after we record, like the one from the week before. It's a tough schedule.
It's slightly complicated, but
but yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously it's a project that I never thought I'd do, although always wanted to do it.
Exactly. It's one of those kind of things, right? Where it's like, it's the kind of thing like, oh, I should record this first episode of whatever, insert YouTube series or podcast, whatever. And you're like, but then again, should I do it now? You know, maybe I should get a better microphone first, or maybe I should wait a little bit, you know, and like come up with like a better idea, and then you never do it. Yeah. And you end up just not doing it. And then now, I think also because we have each other to hold like to doing the podcast, it also encourages us to remain consistent and keep doing it.
Sure.
And also, of course, the support of everyone watching is also great. So I mean,
it's definitely easier doing this with someone else. I could not imagine doing this on my own. Like we bounce off each other a lot. Like when it comes to ideas, it'll be like, let's just do this, and then the other person will fill in the gaps that need to be filled in, and then we kind of balance each other out in like the the works of it as well, because you're more of the tech side and more of like the creative side, so you know it balances out, and you need both for a podcast.
But also just in the filming, I mean, or recording, I guess, rather. Like, if you think about it, it's like, can you imagine doing this alone, like an episode like this, just like sitting here like, yeah, I decided to take it a bit easier today, and I'm just gonna record myself talking. Like, yeah, I feel like that would also be more complicated. Like, just like just recording episodes and doing that is also a lot more of like a natural experience. I feel like, because there's two people, it's like a natural conversation, right?
Yeah. And it builds, like we're still building in quality over time. We started not recording it for YouTube and sitting at your dining room table and just talking.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And the sound's off, and you know,
and
and then
just sitting around it.
And then we actually have an episode where the microphone got messed up, so we couldn't use it.
Yeah, we actually had to scrap one.
And it's never going to be released because it's just completely unusable.
Maybe it's like maybe bloopers from that episode might make their way to the surface sometime. But
it's so bad. And now, I mean, yeah, some of it's still janky. Like we for the phone that we're recording on, the tripod is literally like the flimsiest piece of plastic, and it's like about to break any second.
We're also recording on a phone. like we don't have like a video camera or anything like that.
And we have a light on a cat scratch post.
So like the light that you see coming on to, like, if you're watching the YouTube video, that's like hitting us right now is actually just like on top of like a scratching post from a cat. So it's very redneck, but it looks fairly professional for what it is.
Yeah. It's just funny how things turn out.
But even this setup we have now, it's like a huge improvement over episode 1. I mean, like, if you were to compare how we're doing things now, just the entire process is way, way better.
Yeah. How it started versus how it's going.
like isn't the point of that meme that like it started really good and gets really fucked up?
I don't know.
Like in the second part of the meme. Yeah, it's like a reverse deep fried meme.
That's the thing with memes. I think you might have brought this to light for me. But as soon as a meme... No. As soon as a meme becomes self-aware, it's not funny
anymore. Yeah.
It's like when... I'm trying to think of a meme that's like well-known. That's was over... there's that yodeling boy.
Yodeling kid, yeah.
So it was a video of like a 10-year-old kid or 12-year-old kid singing in a supermarket, like yodeling, like out of nowhere in like a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and it was like hilarious. It's just like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And then he started like making merch and like doing tours, and it's like, you've ruined it, but like you're a kid, so we can't say you ruined it, but he ruined it.
Well, that's why like my favorite memes are of like fictional characters.
Your memes are so obscure.
They're so good, dude.
Every now and then Peter sends me like a meme.
You say every now and then. I send you like 3 every day. like at minimum, because it's like
the videos, like, they don't make sense. Like, if you had to write down or like explain some of the videos you send me, it's like couldn't, and they wouldn't be funny. It's like they're these low saturated pictures of like Shrek with like big eyes, and it's like, why is that funny? It's not, but it is at the same time. And then mine are more like one-liner memes. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's
it's
not funny,
TikTok,
but why is it funny?
It's also because of TikTok, you know? Like,
yeah.
I can guarantee you that if I were to show you my TikTok right now, because of like how their curation algorithm works, it would just be Shrek.
Yours is so perfect for you, and I get all of them, and you're ruining my fucking algorithm.
It's so fucking good, though. Like, oh man, like
my algorithm right now on TikTok is astrology, because I'm into astrology, because I'm a white girl. What else would I be into? And also, if you're familiar with the film Ratatouille.
Oh, okay, but you got me into that one too.
So Ratatouille is a film.
You got me into that one as well, man.
Ratatouille is a film that came out in like 2008, and it's this like animated
I like
film.
how you know the year.
Because I remember where I lived. I've moved 18 times. For reference, that's a lot of years. So I remember what house I was in to help me remember years. So it's like 2008. And it's about this rat who like teaches a chef how to cook, and TikTok decided to make a musical out of it.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole song. There's like set design. There's
a whole
costumes,
bunch of songs.
There's
Like
makeup.
there's also like submissions to like the
There's a whole
Ratatouille
set
musical.
list.
It's so fucking random.
And
Why
it's
Ratatouille?
hilarious to me, and so I got Peter on the algorithm, and now you like send them to me, and I'm like,
yeah,
but
and like I couldn't like the day after you showed it to me, I could not fucking stop singing that song.
I know, you kept sending me voice memos.
I just could not stop. Like I tried to stop myself. I'm just like, no, I gotta send one more, Doc. I gotta get it out there one more time.
The thing is, usually when we send voice memos to each other, it's about the podcast, and so I kind of like stop everything I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, this is like work mode, and then it's like, oh, Remy,
oh, Ratatouille, the rat fall our dreams. I bless you, oh, Ratatouille.
It's ridiculous. But it's actually, and that's what I love about TikTok, is that the algorithm is so good. It's so perfect.
Too good.
Like, on Instagram, it's ruined. Like, I don't see any of the stuff I want to see anymore.
But it's too good almost. Like, it reacts to you so fast, and it figures you out so good. And it's like,
if you're listening to this on your phone and you have TikTok, I'm sure after this you'll get Ratatouille the musical, like, TikToks. So Peter and I both have uploaded a couple TikToks ourselves, and
you're TikTok famous.
I'm not TikTok
you
famous.
Are TikTok
I'm
famous.
literally not TikTok
She has
famous.
a TikTok of 74,000 views or more now. I don't know. It's crazy.
And it's literally a video of me drunk, screaming at my ex. Not screaming, but like playfully arguing while drunk, sitting on the floor in the city that we currently live in.
Was that here? Dude, I swear I thought that was like in like the UK.
No,
I didn't.
Aaron's in it.
I didn't look. Yeah, okay, but you guys went to like Ireland together. You could have visited the UK. I don't know.
No, it was on the corner of like the going out street. Anyway.
Oh.
But, and then, so when I first got TikTok, I like, oh my God, like at the very beginning of quarantine, so it was like March. And my mum followed me, and I just immediately blocked her because I was like, Mum, this is not for you.
Sorry, Mum.
This content.
Sorry,
like,
Mom.
I don't know if my mum still has the app or not, or if she's noticed, but I just had to be
Probably
like,
not.
some apps, like, my parents are very good with technology. They're very up to date on social media.
My mom's pretty good as well, like more than you would expect.
My mum uses emojis, you know, they're on Facebook, they know how to upload pictures fine and dandy, they're on Instagram.
Ooh.
My dad's on Twitter.
Really? I feel like Twitter has become kind of pretty universal though for people of all ages.
Twitter's becoming...
Because it's easy, it's very simple.
Twitter's becoming more popular again as well because of Instagram, like it's just gone downhill. They moved the likes. It's a whole thing. It's
yeah,
really
that was a disaster. Mm-hmm. But you were going to say a story, you were going to talk about posting on TikTok, and I think that you had more to that.
No, it was just that we've posted a few times, and I honestly feel quite old using it. There are people on there that were born in 2005.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, talking about TikTok, should we talk about some drama? Do you know the Charlie D'Amelio situation?
Oh, that's so stupid.
It's fucking, like, I think it's a little bit, like, overbaked.
It's ridiculous. But that's the drama that... I mean, when I was like 13 and on YouTube, those little drama things, like, it's probably not interesting to people who aren't on TikTok because they don't know who these people are.
But that's also like why I'm kind of like, oh, it's kind of like reminding me of like when I was like younger and like on YouTube, and I was like, oh my God, did you hear what this like insert X YouTuber said to like insert Z?
But at the same time, I'm 22 years old.
Yeah, it is a little bit too fucking basic. It's like, okay, they filmed a video and the girl didn't like her scallops or like her like snails or whatever. Like, are we really gonna make that big of a deal out of it? Really?
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. And you have like adult people like leaving like response TikToks, like talking about you're so like
30-year-olds.
Like, come on, guys. They're fucking 16 and 19 years old. Like, it's not that crazy. Like, we can calm down a little bit, all right? Like, they didn't mean to be like the most popular people in the world. I mean, they make mistakes. Everyone does. I mean,
there's part of me that makes me like not ever want to become popular from this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, become like social media,
like an influencer or whatever.
Oh, I hate that word.
Yeah, it's a horrible word. It's a very buzzword.
Because
kind of thing.
you just get dragged into the stupidest stuff, like the stupidest
But,
drama.
wouldn't you you see? Here's the one thing. Like, that sounds interesting until you realize that you're gonna have, like, if for whatever reason this takes off, or whatever other platform takes off, for whatever reason, yeah, it's like, it'll be like, if people are angry with you, they'll like threaten to kill you, and you'll have like all kinds of like crazy comments, and like, I mean, even now, like, we're technically in the same sphere as them because we're public and on the internet.
Yeah.
Right? Technically, if the wrong person hears this, they could like death threat us for whatever reason. Like, it's possible.
Please don't.
Yeah, please no death threats. But you know what I mean,
fragile.
Right? It's like it can happen, you know. And like, the more popular you get, the more at risk you are of that.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing about.
Did you hear how voice my deep voice? Hello.
How voice your deep got? How voice your deep did got?
How deep
what?
my voice? I was like, yeah, like a bro. Bro. Would you be a girl if like someone offered it to you?
No.
I would totally.
I think
be a
girls
dude.
have it bad.
Oh
so
yeah.
I think I'll stay where I am. Like,
I'd love to be
I
a
think
guy.
I can do without periods, to be honest. Like,
the thing is, when people are like, "Oh, why would you want to be a guy?" The first thing that pops into my brain is being able to pee anywhere. Like, that's such a luxury.
it is, but it's also not like a daily life kind of like thing that's applied.
Yeah, but I'd want the option. I don't have that
Like
option.
the option isn't really there unless you like have no shame. Like, you can't just like especially here in the Netherlands, if you get caught peeing in public for whatever reason, you know, you'll get a fine. Like, you'll get in trouble for it. So,
have you ever been fined?
No, never.
I got a library fine once. Didn't pay
Really?
it. Didn't pay it. Just moved.
Really?
Literally just moved house, and then it never.
Oh, like here. You mean here in the Netherlands, or
No, just in general.
No, I don't think I've ever been fined for anything. I don't think so. Not yet.
Ew! Don't make that again.
Wait, I'll see if I can.
No.
It was kind of weird. So I'm like, I wanted to do it, and it came out like, I can't do it again. I can't reproduce it.
Are you obsessed with any TV shows lately?
Recently I watched The Boys, which I really liked.
The Boys?
Yeah.
The Boys.
It's like a superhero thing.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I really liked that. And then after that, I mean, I've been watching.
What's like your favorite genre?
Oh man, that's a tough one. For like TVs or for like TVs?
Like
my favorite genre of TV
watch.
is flat screen.
I really like the flat screen.
Like
the TV with the big back.
Got a big back on that one, boy. Hey, thick. That was a thick ass TV, boy. That's a thick ass boy. Favorite genre of TV show? Oh man, I don't know, dude. Like, not comedy. I like comedy stuff, but I feel like in a TV show I lose interest with comedy shows because usually comedy TV shows don't have like a structured plotline. And that bothers me. It's usually...
See, I like that because I lose this. It's why I don't watch films because the plot is too long. Like
I like these lengthy plotline kind of shows. Like, that's what I like.
Because with a lot of films, you can predict where it's going, and it's like, get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but then you've been watching shit films.
Well, maybe I have, but like, what is a film that you should? I haven't seen, just because I know I say this in like every podcast. I don't watch films, and by that I mean I haven't seen past the first movie of Harry Potter. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Inception. What's another one that I said I hadn't seen? I've seen Forrest Gump.
How have you not seen
I haven't seen...
You will not predict where Forrest Gump goes, because Forrest Gump is fucking crazy.
Is that the guy with the Jenny? Like,
Jenny. Of course, yeah, like, we used to do it as a meme.
Wait,
is... fucking Jenny, man.
Yeah, but can I tell you that... here's another
Man,
thing.
we're jumping like crazy here. Like,
No.
we're talking about genre onto Forrest Gump. Like, okay.
But here's the thing. I pick up like little isms and sayings
Me too.
from other people, and I don't realize they get it from films. So I hadn't seen Borat ever until like 2 weeks ago, and I was not 2 weeks ago, probably a bit longer than that, like a month ago. And I'd be like, very nice, or like, wow,
nice.
and I had no idea where that was. And
I
I thought that was just like my friend said it. So then I picked it up, and then I watched the film, and I was like, the fuck I say that? And I was like, I think I know where I got it from.
Yeah.
And it's really strange.
get like, I get it a lot from like people that I watch a lot, like on YouTube sometimes, for example, like I will copy like isms exactly, and then I will like take it like at face value at first and just copy it, and then I mix it into my own kind of weird thing. Yeah. Then it becomes kind of like a new genre. Yeah. Of ism.
Of isms.
It becomes a Peterism.
I mean, but that's also how like inside jokes start with friends, because we have that weird English accent.
Yeah, like I don't know where that one came from.
I don't know. And then I think that probably started with you making fun of me.
Kind of.
I don't know, Jay.
Yeah, I guess so. And then
no, you call me Obson.
I just always call you Hobson. Yeah. Now. Like it's actually weird calling you Jen.
I think it's weird when you call me Jen as well.
Yeah, I find it weird calling you Jen now. I just always call you Obson. Yeah. Obson. Yeah, and Nico calls you the Jenster. That's such a good one.
That only started last week.
Yeah, but no, before that, because
it was literally last week, because really? I thought because we were playing a card game when we weren't recording after with Nicole, and she was like, "Oh, it's Jen's turn." Well, I thought that's what she said, but she said, "Oh, it's the Jenster," and I heard it as "It's Jen's turn." And then you were like, the Jenster, what? And I was like, what? She didn't say that. And then like she kept saying it throughout the night. And I was like, have I just like misheard this the whole time?
But she called you the Jenster before you arrived as well.
Oh.
She was like, oh yeah, when is the Jenster coming over? And I was like, oh,
that's so funny.
like 8:30. Like we usually record around 8. One, because like we like to, do stuff in the weekend, like in the daytime and chill.
It's drinking time.
It's also drinking time. It is also better for recording, because if we record like at like 5 or like too early, then there's like all kinds of like cars. Because like for those who don't know, you probably have heard it in previous podcasts, but right behind here is actually like behind where we're sitting are 2 huge windows, which lead to like a road people for some reason like to speed, even though it's like a 30 kph zone.
It's a quiet road though.
It's a relatively quiet road, but you do have cars, and like there you go. Hey, but like we have motorbike gangs. Okay, calm down, Peter. Calm down.
Is this America?
Yeah, not a gang, but like a bunch of motorbikes pass by, and then they're super loud, and that's usually scooters. But usually it's before like the worst of it is gone by around 8. So that's like the best time to record in general.
Yeah. But what I was going to say about nicknames.
Back to nicknames.
We keep going off and then on to things. But I always, I give certain people nicknames and they come out of nowhere. Like Beth, I call her Beefy. But that's...
Like the snack. Like a Beefy. Or just...
It started because when she was younger, one of her friends sent her a card and they were trying to say Bethy, but they spelt it Beefy.
Oh, like 2 E's or what?
B-E...
Yeah, so 2 E's.
F-Y.
Oh, so like beefy.
Beefy.
Like beefy.
Like hunt.
Like crunk beefy.
And it's just stuck. And then my brother Corey, I call him Cozzy. I don't know why. Don't know where that came from.
That's weird.
I don't have a nickname for you. I don't have a nickname for Nicole. I don't have a nickname for Scott.
I'm just Peter.
Peter, but you can't really give you a nickname.
No, I don't really have an easy name to give a nickname. Like the only thing you could do is reduce it to like 1 syllable by making it Pete. That's it. Like I have one friend who calls me Pete, but he's the only one.
You just don't seem like a Pete.
No, I'm not really a Pete either. Pete, I feel like it's more like a redneck kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
Trailer park trash kind of guy.
Yeah, but I've had a few nicknames over the years. I get Hen Jobson a lot because it's just my first initial.
Yeah, I get it, but why?
Because. Well, I don't know. It's like...
That's such a weird one.
Because,
like that,
actually, you know how it started with when people had iPod touches at the time, and autocorrect was just like a thing that no one turned off. So it was Jen, but then it corrected to Hen.
It corrects to Hen.
And then they were like, oh, Hen Jobson.
Oh, Jobson, no Jobson. Yeah.
You're the only person that calls me by my last name.
Yeah,
but
I believe that.
It feels natural for you to call me by my last name.
I don't even call you Hobson. I do.
Hobson.
I go Hobson. No.
You also say Hobson.
I do say Hobson if
Hobson's my last name, by the way. I don't know if we made that clear.
Yeah. Really? Is it? Wow. Like my last name is not really like a nicknameable name. It's just Vested ink. It's too long.
It's too long.
It's too long and too like uncomfortable
Pete
to
West.
look at.
If that was you could have a stage name and be called Pete West.
Hi guys, it's me, Pete West. I'm here with my new single.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes.
Hello, sisters.
Hey, sisters.
Oh God, Sister Snatch. So bad.
Oh God.
Yeah. I guess James Charles, like, we were jumping back again to the D'Amelio thing. Like, he was there at the dinner.
These are like TikTok people, by the way.
Well, James Charles not really a TikTok guy.
He's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
for the Gen Zers.
Yeah, he's like a new age YouTuber. I don't really understand all of it. But...
I think our age is really weird to call us
Yeah, we're
Gen
in
Z.
a really, really weird age, I feel like. Because we're like in between, like, old and young people.
Also
like, we're
because...
in a weird, uncomfortable spot.
Yeah. Also because both of us only have older siblings. We don't have younger siblings. So I grew up, like, playing with all this stuff that my elder siblings had when they were kids. Because it was like hand-me-downs and, you know, it still worked. There you go, kid, you know? And it was fun. I played with it and it was fun. Like, what's it called? Like, did you ever play with Tamagotchis?
Of course.
Early 2000s kids, like, never played with them.
I mean, they would always die. Like, I was shit at it.
This is one thing that I always gloat about, is that mine didn't die, the battery died.
How's that possible?
I was
the battery
obsessed
never
with
dies.
It does die.
Really? I swear that should last forever.
The battery died, I promise you. Because I remember being like, oh, can we get a battery from the shop? And it's not like a regular battery, it's like one of them flat batteries. Flat circular batteries. So it's not like a super common battery. So my parents, I remember like being like, my Tamagotchi ran out of battery, help. And then my dad was like, I've got a AAA or a AA. And I was like, it doesn't take A's.
I know that bad.
Also, that's not my dad's accent at all. That's like a northern, like...
I doesn't have a battery. There's no battery in there.
A kilogram of feathers.
Yeah, see, that's another one. That's another ism. Like we, no, that's not an ism. That's
an inside joke.
Yeah, that's not an ism. But like that one we do a lot as well. Yeah. A kilogram of feathers or a kilogram of steel.
And it doesn't make sense.
No, because I'm pretty sure the guy's Scottish. Why are we doing like a Belfast accent? The guy's Scottish. He's not even from Belfast.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
You know what show I'm obsessed with at the moment? The Crown, season 4. So it's about Princess Diana.
Oh,
I've noticed about myself, I get really obsessed with things and I can't, I don't do things halfway. I'm also doing a claw hand right now.
Yeah, me too. I've started grabbing this. I'm obsessed.
So I remember Princess Diana, once I figured out who she was, and she died like a year before I was born. Like she died in 97. And I was like, I love this woman. She's incredible. I want to know everything about her. And I know what year she was born. Like I know like everything about her. I know how many siblings she had.
Nicole's also really into, like, she hasn't been watching The Crown, but she watched like the Diana documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like I got confused because I was thinking of The Queen's Gambit. Like I want to watch that one. I haven't watched it yet.
Everyone's been telling me to watch it and I haven't watched it. Because everyone describes it as like, oh, it's like a sexy game of chess. I'm like, that does not appeal to me whatsoever. But anyway.
Sexy game of chess?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. I digress. But I get really obsessed with things. So The Sims is another thing I'm obsessed with. I have like the majority of the packs just because I get so fixated on stuff. And I like can't, it doesn't leave my brain. I got obsessed with puzzles like a year ago and I bought like not like jigsaw puzzles, like those hand puzzles where you like pull like parts apart and then you put them together
like
again.
it's like 3D puzzles.
Yeah. And like I just get weirdly obsessed and I was like on YouTube and I fell into a deep hole of this guy who like solves those puzzles. Like I don't know what's wrong with me, but as soon as I find something I like, I obsess.
Nicole is very, very similar to you, I think, of this kind of thing. Like I think for me is that I have my like general interest areas and I stay relatively within those and like what I do is I fluctuate from being really into one of them and moving on to another. So like sometimes it'll be like gaming, for example, like a specific game that I'm really into at a time, and then it'll be like a specific show that I'm really into like for like a week. I'm just like watching the show. I'm not doing anything else. Yeah. But like I stay within my like circle of stuff that I like to do. Yeah. But Nicole is the same as you. Like
it's weird.
Like for example, like she's not really like a gamer, but like there was one time like last year, I think, or earlier this year, probably last year, that she got really into The Sims. But like so into The Sims that she wouldn't eat, she wouldn't go to the toilet, she wouldn't shower, she would just play The Sims for like 10 hours in a row. Yeah. Until she like had to like, okay, I have to go to the toilet. Yeah, you know. I did the same. And then she would like run back and get back on The Sims. Like she got totally obsessed with it. And the same with painting. She would do that sometimes, get really obsessed.
I'm obsessed with painting at the moment.
And then stop. And then knitting. She's always knitting or sewing and stuff like that. Like she gets like into these like little habits and she just keeps going. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely recognize it.
So I wonder if it's like, because I know like my dad does it. Like he has these like little obsessions and then he like doesn't stop liking them or watching them. Like castles. Like he's really into castles. And so, and like history like documentaries and stuff. Yeah. He like obsesses over them. Or like, so Doctor Who, are you familiar with Doctor Who? It was like my dad's childhood. And so when I was back there in 2018 summer in California where my parents live, we sat and watched like the beginning of each episode from the very beginning, like the earliest Doctor Who.
But only the beginning.
Because they were so bad. Like the early ones, like they seemed really good like at the time. Like I remember my dad was like, I thought this was way better when I was younger, but it's really crap. Like it's like there's no plot or like everything's drawn out like to ridiculous extent. But I think that's now because as humans we have such short attention spans. We want everything. You gotta
make it
quickly.
Snappier, man. You gotta make it interesting. It has to be now. It has to like catch your attention. You can't do that anymore. So my dad and I were like sat on the couch and we were like going through each episode because we wanted to see like how this season's progressed and stuff. And then I came back and I like adopted this addiction to the like Doctor Who, and I researched every actor, every like doctor, where they found them, and like how old they are, how many kids they have, who they're married to. I'm like, it's so weird. I just get obsessed with people and things. But no doctor stays for like longer than a season, right? Or
no, it can be like three seasons.
I mean, they go when a new one comes, right? I don't really understand how that works. So
I'll tell you all about.
Like I guess there always has to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Something like that, or
because he's a time traveler. For those of you who don't know, here's a Doctor Who little summary. It's been going since like the 50s or 60s. Like it's super old. And then they took a break in I think the 80s and they brought it back in the 2000s. And then they have like new doctors who are these that not really supposed to be like a human. Like they're supposed to be like these alien time traveler things. And so they take up people's bodies. And then they travel to different time periods and they fight different like they have Daleks who are like these little robot things. I know about the Cybermen.
I know about
oh my god, these were so scary. Oh my god, the Weeping Angel. My dad is terrified of the Weeping Angels. It's so funny. He like can't watch the episodes. And it's like the only like because there are different quote unquote enemies in Doctor Who. And the Weeping Angels, they're statues where if you blink, they move, and then eventually they kill you and take you to this alternate dimension.
Like I've never watched that episode, but like I installed the Weeping Angels mod for Minecraft, and they just like appear, and you'll be like mining whatever, and you're like a.
You have to keep your eye on them.
Hey, see you. Love it.
And if
I find it funny how they're totally harmless unless you look at them.
Yeah. It's like, don't blink, but it's like you can't even blink. You just have to keep your eye on them. Otherwise, they'll kill you and take you to an alternate dimension. Yeah. It's fucked. Like, it's honestly a very scary show. And we used to watch it when I was a kid. And I used to be terrified. And I used to be like, I don't even like Doctor Who. And like go into the other room. But really, I was terrified. I was like, I don't want to watch it.
But it feels like a kind of a hard show to get into. Because where would you even start?
I reckon like the newer like 2000 seasons. Yeah, there was like I remember the first Doctor I watched in 2000s. I loved that man. He was probably one of my first crushes, except he was a bald man and he literally looked like an egg, but he wore like a
Johnny Sins.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Johnny Sins is?
No.
He's a plumber, he's a firefighter. He's a police officer.
Is he a porn actor?
You don't know who Johnny Sins is?
No!
Fucking Johnny Sins is a famous. He's a delivery person. He's a ninja sometimes.
I love how I figured it out from like, I was like, these roles, like what? And then I was like, oh, he's porn.
Yeah, no, Johnny. Okay, I think most people watching will they? But like but he's a meme. He's a meme.
I don't know porn actors. I can't say I like keep
up. Yeah, me neither. But like,
well, clearly you do.
No, he's just famous. He's just Johnny Sins. Like every time I see a bald guy who has like kind of like a longish head and like kind of like a shit-eating grin, I'm like, it's Johnny Sins. Hey.
I don't know who that is. No.
I'll show you him after, and I bet you. Like, I won't show you him like the actual like.
I'll bet you anything.
I've never watched an actual Johnny Sins like video, but I have watched a lot. He has a YouTube channel. Like he has like an actual YouTube channel. He's Johnny Sins. You don't know who he is? Come on, dog. And his name too, Johnny Sins. I mean, come on, that's a giveaway.
I don't know him.
No, it's Johnny.
Do you think that's a stage name? Would you have a stage name if you were famous? I wouldn't.
I think Pete West is a pretty good one, but then I'm kind of like the crunk bankrupt edition of Kanye West, I feel like.
Why? You don't rap.
Yeah, but I'm just like, it's like Pete West, Kanye West. Are they related? No. Oh. Is Pete West popular? No.
Yeah, but you're white.
Yeah, but you get the point.
I don't think anyone would think
like,
you're related to him.
Almost spilled a cider here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right by the mic as well.
Wouldn't have hit the mic, but would have hit the stand. But
are you named after anyone? Like, where does your name come from?
The Bible. Literally.
All my siblings have like biblical names.
Although I think I'm named after my grandfather. I think, yeah, because his name was, yeah. I don't know if I'm actually named after anyone. I know I have a cousin who has my identical name, but we refer to him as... yeah, but the thing is, he's Pieter.
Oh.
And I'm Peter.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so it's like, it's spelled the same, but you don't... Like I wouldn't call him Peter. I'd call him Pieter.
Where's he from?
South Africa.
Is that how they would say it?
Yeah, like my name in Afrikaans is Pieter.
It sounds French.
Well, I mean, South Africa... Like,
makes sense.
It has some...
relation.
Vague, like, you know...
Yeah. Interesting. I think I don't know. No, I think I'm named after Jennifer Aniston loosely.
No.
Like, both my parents really like Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, that's just a fury.
No, it's like there's a lot of truth.
Have you confronted them about it?
I have, yeah, and they've
and they're like,
they've said like, I mean, yeah, we got the name from her and we liked the name.
Oh, then you
but
are
they
named
had,
after her.
but they had other names before that they were like Rebecca and Gabriella that I was going to be named, and my middle name May. I'm named after my great grandmother.
Yeah,
I never met.
Yeah, my second name is my dad's name, Henry.
Henry.
I got made fun of that a lot. I got made fun a lot. Yeah, Henry. Yeah.
You know,
I got a lot of jokes about that because my Facebook, because like there was a time in Facebook where for some reason I was Peter Henry instead of Peter Western.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it couldn't handle like middle names or something at that stage or something. I can't remember. But I remember like that was just my Facebook. People were like, "Oh, Peter Henry, are you Henry?" I'm like, "No."
Oh.
So yeah.
Weird.
That was my pain for a while.
You know what though? My sister Beth, she has such a cool middle name. It's Skya. Mine's May. Mine's a fucking month.
How do you even spell that?
Skya. I think it was in a book that my dad was reading at the time. And it's such a cool name. Bethany Skya Hobson. What a cool name. And mine's Jennifer May Hobson. It's so white.
I think Peter is a fucking lame name, to be honest. Sorry, Beata. I mean, I guess we're sharing a name here, but...
I mean, it doesn't matter. But, I mean... I was actually having this conversation with my roommate yesterday about like the best names for each gender, and we came up for girls. Emma is a really good, strong, like it's just well-rounded name, and then for guys, Liam.
Oh, fuck off of Liam.
Really?
That's such like a fucking. But these are such like English fucking names.
Well, I'm English.
Emma, Liam. Oh, Liam. Oh, Liam Kensington. Could you come over here?
Kensington.
Come get your grades, Liam.
grades. We'd say marks.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Hey, yeah. In GCSEs, it was always marks as well. Yeah. Are you okay? Just something fell. I don't know. Something fell. Dude, your fucking ghost is following you, dude. From the Halloween episode.
I'm not joking. I'm a very jumpy person.
Could you give us an update on the ghost, by the way?
Oh, I had one. I think she's gone.
Well, not anymore. She's back.
Well, you caught her then?
Gotcha, bitch. Heads up, please.
Yeah, I haven't seen or heard anything new, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then there isn't an update.
Well, exactly. No update is an update.
So the update is that there is an update. Fair enough.
Sorry.
No,
sorry to disappoint, lads.
That's alright.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah. What were we talking about?
I can't remember.
Well,
were we talking about marks? We were talking names, Hobson, names.
Okay, so what a good...
I think Mason is a really good guy. Mason. I think that's a good name for a guy.
It sounds like a dirty guy, a guy that doesn't shower.
Yeah, okay, sure. But Liam is so fucking
because we have to think of names that grow up with them. So it has to be good for a kid and a professional adult.
I think Mason can be alright. What about and for a girl, I think Emma's alright.
I said something really funny to my roommate yesterday, if I may say so myself.
I was gonna say, really? Was it really funny?
Because I was like, we were talking about like our future partners, like the fact that there's someone out there that we're gonna end up with at some point, and I was like, I don't know if I could handle it if I ended up with someone called Greg. Or Simon.
Oh, come on, poor Simon.
Do you know what I mean?
The poor Simon.
Do you know what I mean though? It's like Greg.
Yeah.
God.
The poor Simons.
Do you know what I mean though? It's like I'm gonna have to be
like Bob. Or
it's like they could be perfect in every way, but then they could have a name that's fucking Greg.
Would that really affect you? Would a name really affect you?
Neil.
Oh, Neil's alright. What's wrong with Neil?
Don't like Neil.
I think Neil's okay. No. I meant like Greg, Bob, like whatever, Billy.
Bill.
Well, but like Bill is just like a thingy from William, isn't that just like a shortened version of William? Mm-hmm. It's like Will, Bill, Billy. It doesn't make any sense, but I feel like that's correct though. I would say so.
And a girl's name?
I had a really good one that I've been thinking about, but
Gabrielle is a horrible name.
Gabrielle is a shit name. That's a shite name. Definitely.
And that was going to be my name up until like the last
thank fuck they changed.
Moments.
But like you don't even like your full name that much.
I hate Jennifer.
Yeah.
I hate it. It makes my skin crawl. And everyone was like, you'll grow into it. You know, you'll like it. I'm like, I hate it. When I was younger, I used to go by Jenny because that's like, you know, for a little girl, Jenny is fine. And now I go by Jen. But the thing is, Jen Hobson sounds a bit off. It doesn't flow. But Jennifer Hobson, it flows.
Yeah, it does flow.
I never introduce myself as, hi, I'm Jennifer, but call me Jen. It's too much.
It's actually so weird hearing you call yourself Jennifer.
It's gross.
It's like you're like a different person.
I'm just not a Jennifer.
It's so weird.
I'm not a Jennifer.
You're definitely not a Jennifer.
No. That's what I've said. Thank you. Mum and Dad, if you're listening, you better message me and tell me that I'm correct.
You are a Jen, though.
I am a Jen.
You are a Jen.
Yeah.
But you couldn't be named Jen.
No.
I guess you could, but that'd be weird. So, I mean, it worked out.
Can I ask what's happening in your kitchen?
I think there's a cat.
Did you come up with a girl's name?
No, I forgot what it was. I had a good one in mind, but I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. What was it? I swear I've talked about this before, but...
You know what's interesting? The boys in my family, we have a tradition where they go by their middle name. So my dad is... Okay. Yeah, I can say his full name. Paul Nigel Hobson, but he goes by Nigel. My brother Corey, his full name is Samuel Corey Hobson. He goes by Corey. Yeah, no one knows.
What? This is a mindfuck.
And
what?
My other brother, he's called Nathaniel Kane Hobson, but we call him Kane. And it's like a thing in the
So Corey's name is Samuel.
Yeah. I call him Samuel sometimes when I'm upset with him, which really confuses people because they're like, Samuel isn't a shortened version of Corey.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I would not have expected that.
I remember once I was like talking to my friends and then they're like, oh, you have 3 brothers, right? You have Kane, Corey and Samuel. I'm like, no.
Nah.
Corey Dan Kane. Because, yeah. It's so strange, though.
That's so fucking weird. Dude, I wouldn't have known that. Like that's a Hobson thing.
But I really like it, and I'm gonna probably do the same.
But then why are the girls not like referred after their second name? Why aren't you May?
Well, because it was from my dad's side.
Oh, so it was inherited from your dad.
From like his I think his dad did the same. Went by his middle name instead of his first legal name.
Interesting.
So it just was a male thing in the family.
Weird.
Also, imagine if I went by May.
Would you prefer May or Jennifer?
Jennifer. May is a month. Like the people called months are like the most floaty people in the world.
That reminds me of this video. Have you seen that video of that woman who's like, I hate people who name their children after places. And then the interviewer's like,
what's her name?
It's Graham Norton who's interviewing her, and he's like,
no, it's
wasn't it Graham Norton?
No, it's on the Today. Is it the Today Show? I don't know. But it's, oh my god, what's his name? I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's a really bitchy English woman who's like super racist, super like conservative, and just like a horror. I can't remember. Katie Hopkins. And then the interviewer.
He's like, but
I can't remember his name.
But your daughter's named India.
Oh, she was like, well, I think it's ridiculous that people name their children after geographical locations like Brooklyn or New York. Yeah, and then he's like, your kid's named India, and she's like, well no, but it's like, it's a geographical location.
Oh fuck, that's terrible. No, I think she also had. She was like, or like flowers and or something as well, right?
Lily or rose or. She sounds exactly like that, by the way. That's a great impression.
Yeah. It is a pretty good impression, actually, for those who haven't seen it. It's so, oh man, that'd be fucking embarrassing. But yikes.
People always find it quite weird that my pets have always been named like human names. So
what are your pets called?
So I've had 9 dogs. I counted the other day in my life. I've had 9 dogs.
How many have survived?
Only 2 of them are alive now. The rest are dead because I've had them over the years.
Yeah, same.
One
actually a pretty brutal realization. It's too real. I'm in this picture and I don't like it.
One's Gemma, Max, Jack, Charlie, Lucy, Molly, Holly, Libby, Lottie. Lottie, she was. We tend to take all.
England is my city.
England is my city. We tend to take. We tend to take longer names and then shorten them. So Ollie, our current dog, it's Oliver, but we call it Ollie. And then
Ollie.
And then Lottie, we unfortunately had to give her away because she was very scared, and she would. We just didn't have the capabilities to train her, like give her the time she needed. She had separation anxiety. Boxers are very well known to have separation anxiety.
Bye Lottie.
So we gave her to someone who had like 4 other dogs and lived on like an acreage. So like tons of room to run around and run out the energy that she had. But that was Charlotte, and then we called her Lottie.
Oh, I see. Okay, sure.
And then, the others are human names. Charlie, Jack, Max,
I think
Lucy.
We kind of flip-flop in between like what we name animals, like as to whether or not it's human or not. Like the cats here, Nico named them all like human names, Hayden, Quinn.
But they're interesting human names. They're not just like Charlie or Jack, like the most basic names.
John. I feel bad for the Johns of the world, because that is
dogs or humans.
I mean, dogs don't really care.
My cousin's called Jonathan though, but he goes by Johnny.
Okay, Jonathan is fine. That's different. But just John. I mean, John
name.
Smith is the most it's like the most typical like name.
When you're filling out forms,
it's like Jane Doe kind of.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Man.
But yeah, your cat's.
Yeah, it's Hayden, Quinn, and then like my dog when I was a kid was called Tommy, which is like a human name.
Cute.
I had to give him away because he kept biting people. Hope you're doing good, Tommy.
What was that?
What?
What did you just say?
I did a.
No, you said something.
Because he kept biting people.
Oh, he kept biting people.
What did you hear me say?
No, I thought you were saying some, like, goodbye in another language. Like, I couldn't hear you. Like, I didn't understand you properly. And I was like, the fuck are you saying?
No.
I just said Afrikaans or something. I was like, hello?
No, it's just, I just said, like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Tommy, because you're biting, because he kept having to, he just kept biting people. And then one time he was a Chihuahua, by the way. He wasn't like a huge fuck off dog.
Fuck Chihuahuas.
He was a fucking Chihuahua, but he was just too aggressive. Mostly because of me, because, like, you know, I would play rough with him and whatever. And it was just kind of for a vibe. But
yeah, but that's a Chihuahua. They're like, they're what's it? Their bark's
violent.
bigger than their bite. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Well,
and they're just so yappy.
Well, he liked biting. This one,
so his bite was as big
yeah,
as his
his bite was bigger than it. Yeah, it was pretty equal. He did like biting. We had to give him away because one time he made a friend of mine bleed, so we had to.
Oh my god!
He like bit him, like, I think right on the ass even. It was like either on his ass or on his leg.
Naughty.
Tommy. And I remember, we had to give him away, and I was crying my eyes out because I love that dog so much.
Yeah, I cried when we had to give Lottie away. She was my dog. It was really sad.
I cried so much. I was so sad. But my understanding is a couple of years later, my mom went to go check on him, and apparently he was really fat. So I guess he's vibing at least.
Oh, that's cute.
Good vibes for Tommy.
Oh.
But I reckon we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
We've been going for quite a while, so I think now is a good time to.
And I apologise for jumping so much onto different topipics, but
well, that was the theme of the episode. It was like a vent episode to just kind of get out all of the
chillax,
all of the goings on of the week out onto speech.
Yes, relax. Thanks for watching. You know what to do. Oh, that sounds so great.
Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Oh my god, I've got something in my eye.
Shut up.
I do.
Thanks for listening. On whatever platform you are, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube even, or anywhere that you're listening to, let us know. Follow us on Instagram at This Could Be a Podcast. And let us know how we're doing, what you like, what you don't like, any suggestions.
If you have any topics in mind, let us know.
Exactly. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.